because I came in a rush. I forgot my power to my computer.
Oh, okay, okay.
So at the moment, I am just saving. I'm doing this on my phone.
On the phone.
Yes, I have a lead magnet. I have a lead magnet with regards to leadership. Yes, I have.
Okay, so just a quick recap of what we already covered last time. Okay, I'm just gonna go and open.
I am just saving. I'm doing this.
I'm gonna open my documents. There you go.
Are you recording this now?
Yes, now we are recording. We are already sharing. So let's see. This is what we covered last time. We just talked in general about the lead magnet funnel for coaches and course creators, what it can do, how it can be used, where it can be plugged into your Facebook group and Facebook structure.
This is last week, right?
Yes, this is last week. This is already inside the group. So in case you guys want to go back and have a look over there, I just like went through all these points over here. And then I also showed you how this funnel looks like. So we went through the example and elements of the lead magnet funnel. There are 3 elements. And today we're going to be building the first one, the landing page. I pretty much is going to show you how to set up the pages in general, but we're going to build the first one. Then the next session, we're going to focus on the second one, and something that some people forget about, and then they're thinking why their funnel are not working, is the follow-up sequence. This is the email sequence that is connected to your funnel. Okay, now this is very important, whether you're doing it via email, or for example, sometimes you're just collecting some other form of contact information and messaging people on Messenger or WhatsApp or calling them, whichever one will work. But this automated version of it is definitely something that we all want to have. Okay. Now with the System.io, we are pretty lucky because we can do this first one up to, I believe we're checking 2,000 or 5,000 people for free, which was never possible before. I had to pay a lot of money for my lead magnet on ClickFunnels when I did it for the first time. So this is pretty cool. If you still don't have the account on System.io, just click on this link or scan the code, and it will take you to System.io where you should be able to set up your free account. And today I'm just going to log into that System.io and show you how you will be creating your first funnel over there. Okay, so point number 1 is literally setting up the pages, choosing the right template. So I'm assuming that you've all done, whoever is going to be following today, that you've all done your first steps, which is set up this System.io, the free System.io dashboard. Okay, if you will come here, I'm just going to show you how it looks like once you're starting from here, from scratch. Okay, so if you go to System.io for the first time, this will be the login page. Okay, you're coming here and you're getting this free account. Everything over here on the list is for free. And the cool thing is there's no time limit for it. So it's not going to be like 2 weeks later, you already have to pay. No, this is forever. You get this forever, as long as you're not doing more than they give you for free. You can keep using it for free. And then the moment you like need more funnels, or maybe you want to have more courses or more automation, then you can start like upgrading your account, which is still very decent money to be fair. But that's later. For now, for this lead magnet, you do not need any paid accounts, and that's the gist over here. So once you're gonna give them your email over here, get this free account, then you will be able to log in to this. You will see the backstage. I know if you guys still hear the fireworks, it's Chinese New Year behind my window. So I have a show every evening.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually have a really good view for the whole city. So I see every single time some neighbors are blowing the money in the air. I can see that. Okay, so backstage, guys. This is how the backstage of System.io looks like. On the top over here, you have all these different tabs. And we're just gonna go straight to funnels. Okay, so you're gonna click on the funnels. You're probably gonna start on the dashboard, but just click on the funnels. And this list, if you're new to System.io, this list is gonna be empty. This is not gonna have any funnels over here. But that's okay, because that's why we're here, and we're going to create your first lead magnet funnel using this creator. So if I'm going to click this button, the top right corner, create button, this little plus, this is the funnel generator. Okay, and you need to choose the name for your funnel. So we're going to call it lead magnet funnel. Okay, just for now. Workshop. And on the right side, it actually also gives you a chance to choose your domain. Now, last time Hannah was asking about these domains, guys. So at the beginning, when you have your System.io account set, it will actually give you a free domain under the System.io domains, right? So it's going to be, for example, whatever the name of your account that you created, .system.io. Now, this is not ideal, obviously. You do not want to launch your funnel live using this working domain. This is just for you to sort of like build your thing without worrying about setting up your own domain. But then later, you can change this. You can actually link your own domain, the name of the domain that you want to have, which should be either your name or the name of your program or the name of your business. So for us, for example, we put everything under our main domain, launchlabhub.com, right? That's our domain. And don't worry if you don't have it now, it's okay. You can build on this one, right? And then later you will change. Then later you're just gonna swap with the one click, okay?
So this domain is a System.io domain, or you can put in your own domain?
Yeah, so the one that they give you automatically is a System.io. Right.
Okay, so you recommend that we will use that?
So for building your funnel, you can use this. But the moment you want to launch your funnel to the people, right, you make it live and you start sharing it on social media, I do not recommend to use this, because you actually might even be blocked by Facebook, because Facebook right now, and most of social media platforms, they are very picky choosy, and they are sifting through some spam pages and all that. So you do want to have your own domain. You go to GoDaddy or whatever other big domain provider, you buy yourself a domain, and then you link it here. Later on, I can actually record a little tutorial how to do this, but actually System.io already gives you the how-tos for this as well. So if that's going to be a problem for anybody, just let me know, and I will walk you through connecting your own domain over here, okay? You will need it later. The moment the funnel is ready, you will need that domain. Now, don't worry about it. So now, from all the different 4 types of funnels that you can build over here, we are now focusing on building the audience, right? So the lead magnet, lead generation, is building the audience. So we're going to take this one in the top left corner over here, yeah? Click on this, it's going to be highlighted. In the bottom, you can also choose a currency that you want this funnel to be, if you're actually taking any money. But in most cases, in your lead magnet funnels, guys, you won't really be doing any currency intake, because most of these lead magnets, they are just there for you to collect the email, to collect the contact, to collect the lead, and not to collect money. Later on, people who are a little bit more advanced, they're doing some upsells. So the moment people are opting into their lead funnel, then they're giving you an upsell, and they're trying to sell you, I don't know, a book or some low ticket item, right? So that's why it's here. but in general, it doesn't really matter. You can change it if you want to other currency. But for us, like I said, we're not going to be using this, so don't worry about it too much. Now, when you click Save button, it will automatically generate your funnel pages. So now I'm going to have it on the list over here. And if I click on it, by the way, before I click on it, on the right side, you have these 3 dots. Okay, so if I hover over these 3 dots and go to settings, I will still be able to change the name of this funnel and change my domain later on once you're gonna have it, right? So this is the few functions over here. But for now, we're gonna go here and we will choose a template. So we just went through this first step of our process, okay? I just showed you how to do this, okay? How to create your funnel in System.io. And now, point 2 of this process is we're going to choose the template. So in System.io, you have pre-built pages for your funnel, which is really cool, especially if you're not picky choosy, if you don't have like some high demands for how it should look like. You can literally just take one of these ready-made funnels. There is, I think, let me see, over 30 of them. And we're talking here about free account. I think in the free account, I'm using paid one right now, but even in the free account, you will have these templates, okay? So if you're gravitating towards any of them, you feel like some of them you like one and you can just modify it a little bit to make it yours, then just choose it, right? For now, I'm just gonna choose any, so I'm just hovering over the one that I like. I choose select. You can also do a preview just to see it in a bigger version. But for us, it doesn't really matter because we're going to change it anyway. Now I generated my funnel pages. Okay, so as you can see on the left side over here, it gives you 2 pages. Your lead magnet funnel will have 2 pages: the squeeze page, also called landing page, and the thank you page. Okay, so this is also the download page, which is the page where they get to download the free thing that you promised them, right? So that's pretty much it. These 2 pages will do. There will be 1 more page required later, or actually even 2, but I will talk about it later. Those pages are sort of universal for all your funnels, and I will share a little bit more information about those just later during this session. Okay, so let's just have a look at what we got here and what's the interface. Now that I already generated these pages, I get to choose whether I want to look into the squeeze page, and then I can do the same thing for the thank you page. It will also ask me to choose a template, right, that I can later modify according to my needs or according to my brand book. Okay, so let's say that for now I'm just going to choose anything, maybe this one. Okay, and it's generated. Okay, so I have squeeze page, I have thank you page. See, if I click on it, it will actually change the address of my page. So this address, by the way, over here, this URL is also editable. So right now I can do it. I can give it a name: landing page workshop. Okay, and this is the URL. So it will have your domain. Right now I'm using our System.io free domain, but like I said, later you will be able to change this to your own. And here it's going to be just an extension. So you might say free book or something like that. Whatever that's going to be, whatever your lead magnet is. Okay, you click it, you see the tick, right? And this is the URL. You will be able to touch it over here and share it with other people once your page is ready. Okay. So for now, what is important to know over here is, what do you do with this page? So how do you build this page right now? You have a lot of tabs over here on the top that are important for some stats and some other things. But for now, as we're building it, you can forget about all the different buttons. Only one button is important: edit page. Okay.
Is it we go from left to right?
So these buttons on top, we are not going to be using them right now for building. We will need them later to see how our funnel is performing, right? So we will definitely connect this funnel to an audience. So I know that my audience is being built. I can see some statistics. I can see what's happening with my leads. So later we might use these tabs to test some things. But for building, we only need to use this edit page button. Only one button is important. Okay, so you don't even have to look right now and everything else over here is not for us at the moment. Just edit page, and if I click on this, it will take me to the page editor that looks very similar to the one that we've been using in ClickFunnels and GrooveFunnels and a lot of other software pages, right? So all these things are easily editable. You can see that there are windows over here. They're all different colors. So this is something to remember too. We have sections.
And this is free, right, Mike?
This is free. Yeah. This whole thing, whatever I'm showing you today, all this is a free account. Yeah. So you won't have to pay for this, even if you're using for a longer time. Okay.
Okay.
So now on the left side, there is this in the mid section, you have this little swiper. So if you click on it, it will open the menu on the side, and this is where we're going to be building stuff. Okay. So for now, what is important? I'm going to erase all this for now because I sort of want to show you step by step of how how easy it is to build this whole thing. So for now, I'm just deleting the whole template. I don't need anything from here. Okay. Oh, Hannah is here. So we're going to clean it up all the way to 0. See, this is how my page looks like at the beginning. There is nothing, right? Empty page. Now I'm going to start building a page, and I'm going to show you what we are actually going to build. So let's go back here. Right now, I already chose the template, and it's time to start building the landing page. I listed down all the possible things that you might need on the landing page, on the squeeze page of the lead magnet funnel. Now, with that being said, I'm also going to show you how to make a first version of it that only requires these 4 things. Actually, yeah, maybe 5, because you do want to have a graphic that's usually attracting the eye. Okay. The other part of the page over here can be used, or you can add to it as you go. But even if you have only these first 5 elements, I've seen Russell Brunson having successful lead magnets funnels just using very short version of the page. It was literally, here what I have for you. This is what you're going to get out of it. This is where to click to get it. And that was it. And there was not even nothing to scroll. That was just one page like that. Okay. So you can start with this too. But as you grow, you might possibly want to extend it and attract a little bit more audience. And then you will see in a moment how that works for the audience. So I'm going to show you a ready funnel for now, and I will remake it with you so you can see exactly what I'm clicking and where I'm clicking to make yours. Okay, so this is a ready lead magnet funnel already that we're using for Launch Lab. Okay, and I'm going to view the funnel. Okay, and you will see all these elements that I listed down. So number 1 thing is on the top of the page, you can have the logo of your company or the name of your company. Okay. Now, if you don't have it yet, also don't worry about it that much, because that's not going to flop your funnel, even if you don't have it yet. okay? But if you do have it, then what I want to do is I will create this first line of my funnel by creating a headline, or what is it again? Actually, no, not headline. I'm going to do a section. So I'm taking a piece that I need from the left side over here, see, a section, and I'm dragging it over here. Boom. That's an empty section. Now, if I do an empty section like this, it automatically comes with one row. If I want to have more than one element in a row, I might possibly drag in more columns, right? So if you don't want to have some like one element across the whole screen, then maybe you can have, for example, 3 rows, okay? And then it gives you a chance to do 3 different things. So now, for instance, if I do have my logo in a form of a picture, okay, I'm going to drag an image over here and drop it here. Boom. Now it just gives me a space for an image, but if I click on it, I click on that image, on the left side of my screen, now you're going to see image file, right? So if I click on this little cloud over here, it will allow me to upload the image, right? So that image you're uploading from your computer or from wherever you have your logo, right? You select the file, you upload it, and it will show up in your uploaded file on System.io. So you're going to have the whole library of these files later on that you can reuse for other funnels, okay? So let's say that for now I want to use my logo. I don't know if I will find it here. I think so. I should have the logo somewhere. There you go. I choose my logo and I click insert. Okay, this is my logo. Now, another thing that I can do with this logo, if I click on it, on the left side, you can also see the image size, and I can drag this little thing to make it bigger or smaller, right? So let's say this is all I need, okay? Later on, you can modify this multiple times as much as you want. You're going to see how it's going to look like. If you want to make something bigger, you can make something bigger. You're going to make something smaller, you can make it smaller, right? So this is all very, very easy to change, okay? So I have my first thing. I'm going back to my lead magnet page. Now I want to have my headline, okay? So as you can see, usually this is the formation, how you're going to set it up. For your lead magnet. On the left side, you want to have your headline, your sub-headline, your call to action. On the right side, you want to have the graphic for it. Okay. Now I'm saying that this is the optimal version because on your if you set it like this, then on your mobile phone, it will be text first and picture later. If you swap it, it's just gonna be messed up a little bit. So that's the best possible way to do it. Okay. Now, in order to have this, now I'm going to set up another section, right? So I'll drag in a section 2. Okay. Oh, drop it. My section here. And I will set up two columns, right? Because one is going to be for my text, the other one is for my graphic. Okay, so in my text now I'm going to be pulling in all the elements that I will need. I'm going to need a headline. I'm going to need a sub headline. Okay, and then I'm going to need a call to action, which is a button. Okay, so if I go lower over here, you have all different things. I will need people to fill in some information for me, right? So I can collect their email. That's a form input. Okay, so I'm putting that one in, and I need them to click the button. Okay, right here. Okay, so that's all in one column over here on the left side. Now on the right side, I'm going to need a picture, right? So again, I will go and grab an image. I drop that image over here. Okay, So this is already a general skeleton for my lead magnet. Now I need to modify all these texts to actually say what I want to say. Okay, so you're gonna go and get your copy. Okay, so for the headline is literally, when it comes to lead magnet headlines, you just write down what it is, right? What it is that you want to give them. And we can, right now, we can actually utilize a lot of different support from AI, ChatGPT, of all sorts, prompts that will allow you to create a nice headline for your lead magnet page. So if that's going to be something that you guys would want to do, we can prepare a few prompts that will help you just come up with a good copy using ChatGPT. Okay, but today I'm just going to show you how you're physically building the funnel. Okay, so we're not going to spend here 3 hours creating copy. So I'm just using the copy that is ready. And whatever you're going to be using for your copy, guys, I still suggest to actually have that copy, okay? And only once you have your own copy, then take that copy to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what are the different options? How can you help me, right? Utilizing the prompts, right? So act like a marketer, for example, Russell Brunson or blah, blah, blah. This is the copy for my lead magnet, and I would like you to create a better 5 different version of a headline for me, or a sub headline, right? So we can, like I said, just play around with this a little bit later, once you maybe give me your example and see what ChatGPT can do for us. Okay, so what you can see, once you have your copy anywhere, like it can be a Google Doc or your notes, you take your copy, you're literally highlighting the whole thing, copying it and pasting it over here in the box that you just created, right? Now, once you highlight this, you can also modify the features of this text. So I can bold it up, I can make it italic, I can underline it, I can cross it. So these are all the basic features. I can change the color of it, right? So it can be black, it can be whatever other color. I can even make it a hyperlink, right? So if I want to hyperlink it to something, maybe like some sort of video, then I can. But usually you won't be using this over here in this moment. Okay, so I can modify this text. Other than that, for the headline, you can also change the style of the headline, right? Just here. On the left side, once it's highlighted, you can actually also change the font. You can choose your own font from your brand book. Later on, Athena is going to talk about brand book a little bit more. So it's all here for you to modify and make it yours, right? Make it a little bit look like you want it to look like. But for now, that's pretty much the basic information what you need, right? Headline, sub-headline is the next one. Over here is the input box. So I need to click on this input box and actually tell System.io what I want people to give me. And you can choose this from the list. So input type, I click on this input type on the left side, and I'm going to choose 2 things. I don't want to overwhelm people. I don't want to ask them for too many things, because the more I ask them, the bigger the friction is going to be. So I'm only going to ask them for first name, and I'm going to make a copy of this. All right. So look, if I hover over this box over here, I have this 2 squares on the top. If I click on it, it's copying the same box again. So I click on the same box on the second box, and in the second box, I'm changing for the email. So now I want first name and an email. Those are the 2 things I want people to give me. Okay. Finally, the button. So when I click on the button, I will be able to tell System.io what I want the software to do after people click on this button. Okay, so I want them to submit the form, which means the systems IO will collect the information about our lead and take them to the next step, which is the next step of my funnel, right? The thank you page. Okay, so that's exactly what I want System IO to do. Do you want to enable to double opt-in in this form? No need for that for now. You can add an automatic rule, but we're going to talk about this rules a little bit later when I will show you exactly how to integrate your funnel with your list, with your growing list of leads. So for now, don't need to do anything over here. You can modify your button, give it a little bit bigger. This like distance between the stuff, left, right, all these things, they're the positioning. But what is more important for you is probably going to be the color, because you want to use your own brand colors, right? So let's say if your brand colors are orangey, right? I can actually take, let's say that this is my orange that I want. This all the colors, by the way, for your stuff, you should have in your brand book. Okay, so that's going to be very easy for you to go and fetch the same colors every single time, right? So let's I want to just copy this color again, right? I go for my button over here for the colors, and I'm going to just put in the same number here. Okay, right, same with the color of the text. I can change the color of the text. It's also on the bottom over here, text color, right? So I can change it for maybe black, right?
Hey Mike, what's the research out there? What color of the button is most effective to get your niche market to
Right.
to select it?
So to be fair, it's a good question, but it's a question on kind of like another level, because at this point, when we are setting up our lead magnet funnel, and all we're going to be doing is utilizing this funnel organically, right? That's not going to make a huge difference what color you are using, because you won't have enough people to see the difference between the A/B test. Later, if you're utilizing your funnel in a real campaign, when you're putting in, I don't know, 100K into ads, right? Then it makes it different. You want to make sure that every single bit of your funnel is optimized and you're not burning money. But at this point, we're not at that level where you have hundreds of thousands of people coming into this, right? So I would say just stick to your brand colors, whatever your brand represents. And again, Athena is going to talk a little bit more about brand and why you choose these colors and not some other colors. I was talking about it in Build Your Brand anyway, but that's going to be a little bit more. So once you will choose, these are my colors, just stick to your colors and don't worry about the A/B tests. That's only going to be important once we really investing heavily in advertising. Okay. For now, people will resonate with you and with your face and with your story, and not with the color of the button. That's the idea over here.
Okay, thanks.
So once we have this, guys, one thing that you will have to do is change the call to action on the button, right? So again, let's say what I need to put over here. In this case, I want to put send me the guide, right? For example. Okay, so I don't want the button to say click here. I want it to say send me the guide. So I'm going to scroll a little bit below. Button text over here, you see typography, button text. Here I need to put in my text. Okay. So on the button is a little bit different, because with every other text you can actually just click on the box and put the text there. With the button I have to put it on the left side, right? Send me the guide. Okay. And same thing is with the maybe I want to change for change the Google Fonts and Poppins, for example, right? This is my font, so I'm going to use my font. Now, if I'm using the subtext, then I can put my subtext over here. If I'm not using subtext, I'm just going to delete the whole thing altogether, and then I don't have the subtext, okay? If I want, I can also add an icon before or after my text. So for example, maybe they're going to have something for send. Book. Okay, maybe I can choose something like this, right? Send me the guide. It could be a little hand or whatever other thing that you feel like makes sense over here. Yeah. So I just build up the whole button, the form, sub headline and my logo. Okay. One last thing is I need to plug in my picture. So again, I'm clicking on the picture, clicking on my little cloud. You will upload the picture of the visualization of your lead magnet, whatever that's going to be, and it will show up in your library over here. So let's say I'm going to use this picture for now, just for the sake of showing you how it looks like, right? There you go. I can also modify that picture, the size of this picture, so it's not bigger than my text, okay? That's pretty much how over the head page looks like. Now, I might want to modify it a little bit by moving things around. So for example, I can now have a look at save changes, all right? I'll click on save changes. Every time you completed something, save this, okay? And then if I click on this little eye in the top right corner, it will show me how this page looks like here, okay? So this is how it's going to look like on the laptop, okay? So it's a little bit too big, right? I don't really want it to be that big. So now what I can do is I can modify the size of my rows, okay? If I go here to the row, as I mentioned to you guys, you have 3 different colors of these boxes. So you have the sections, you have the rows, which are blue, and then you have orange elements. So I want to modify my row. I click on the row, and on the left side, now you're going to see these margins. So right now the row has no margin, which is why it takes the whole page on my on my preview. But I can actually give it a margin on the left and on the right side. Maybe let's start with the 50. Okay, I can also give the margin on the other side. So 50 from the left, 50 from the right. Yes. And padding, same thing. Maybe I can add a little bit more padding here. Okay, so let's see how that's going to look like now. I just added a little bit. And the next thing, maybe I also don't want to have such a big break between the logo and everything else. So I can click on the section, okay? And same thing on the left side. Now I can see the margin. Right now it's 0, but I want a top margin. I don't want it to be that big. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make it smaller, okay? Like this. Same thing I can do here. Margin on the bottom. I don't need that big of a margin. So, boom. Okay, let's say I moved it around a little bit. You can see that now it's already takes a little bit less space. So it's going to be up to me how much I want, how big of these margins I want to do. Once you actually have set it up once, or utilizing a template that I can give you guys, the ready one, the one that we made for ourselves, then you can just, and you like these, the distance between the different boxes, then just use that one, right? The cool thing is that once you have the one that you already like, you can multiply it as many times as you want. Now, one other thing that you want to look at here is the mobile view. So you can see on the left side, on the bottom, you have the display view. This is the little monitor, and the next to it is a little icon of the mobile. So you click on that icon, and now it shows you how it will look like on the phone. You see? There's going to be a logo, a little bit of empty space, right? And headline, subheadline, form, button, and picture. Okay, so this is the visualization for mobile. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can modify these elements on the mobile separately without modifying the stuff on the laptop. So you can see if I am on the mobile view, right now, the font size, the line height, and all these things, the letter spacing, it has this little mobile icon next to it, which means it will only modify it for the mobile view, but it won't do anything to the laptop view. Okay, so this is pretty cool. This is a neat way to do it, because, for instance, in ClickFunnels, you actually had to build a separate page for the mobile phone, right? You had to build 2 pages. Here, you can just modify it a little bit, and it's a bit faster. So yeah, that's our basic settings. Okay, now what you can do on top of that, you can potentially give yourself a little background if you want, or change just the color of the background if you don't want everything to be white. If I click on the section element, right, click on the section, and in the section I can change for the content, the size of the whole section page. So right now it's set for the full page. What I can do is I can do a medium. Okay, I can add shadows. So this, like, I wouldn't recommend to change too much things, but one other thing that you can do is the background image. Okay, so look how the medium looks like. I think you still remember what was before. Now, if I show you this, the medium, it's gonna look like this. Okay, so it's kind of like a little bit more in the center, and some people like it like this much more than just have everything on the full screen. So it's up to you, whichever one you like more, right? But make sure that everything is visible, right? That there is enough spacing between elements. This is the most important part. So just the last thing for the section, like, you can either give it a background image, or you can give it a background color. Okay, so let's say I want to give it a gray color here. Okay, so that my second section is going to have a gray color. Like that, and then it's going to look like this. Okay, so you have 2 different colors, and for each section you might actually change the color to make it look a little bit more graphically pleased. If you go back to our page over here, this lead magnet, you can see that at a background you have this little images of book, right? So that's just a picture. That's just a picture. So I can also upload a pic. Instead of having a solid color, I can upload any image that I want by clicking over here, right? So you can just go and fetch an image from Canva or from any other image store, and you will see how it's going to work out for you. Let's say, just for the sake of this, let's see if we can utilize this. Okay, so this is a little bit busy, right? But you can see how this works, right? I can now repeat this, right, multiple times. You can change. You can see how it's going to look like if I choose all these different options over here for the for this image. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is pretty much what I could do. If I decide not to do it, you can go back to this and just have my plain background. Okay. Now this finishing our first part of building the landing page. Okay, so I have my logo, I have my headline, subheadline, call to action, and graphic. Now, why did I say emotional call to action? Is because this first part over here that we build is kind of like the basic landing page already. If I would want to just utilize, I need to build something quickly. You don't have time, you just have an event coming up and you just want to give people something, some easy way to grab something from you. You just build this and it's ready to use pretty much. You're just gonna need a footer and I will share with you what needs to be in that footer. But with that being said, this is kind of like emotional part of your landing page. So if you're an emotional buyer or you're like getting something because you're emotionally hyped, something happened, maybe you had an event, maybe you talked somewhere on somebody else's stage and people just recently had you in front of your face and you promised them something, you send them this, and you actually don't really need anything else, right? You just need to provide the thing that you promised on the stage, right? That's it. So they get it from here. So this is for the emotional action takers. For other people, you might also need to build some additional part of your page, which will be logical action takers. So now for the logical action takers, they will need some convincing. They will need a little bit of benefits that you will share on this page with them, why this thing is so amazing, right? And what it will give them, how it will change their life. So this is the part that is showing you why this guide is so amazing. And I'm just using 3 top benefits, right? And what you can see on this example is that not only I'm mentioning the benefit itself, but I'm also linking it to some measurable statistic. Okay, this is a very common thing that a lot of marketers are doing. They're giving you an idea, right? Something that you would want, something that you will find as valuable, and they're giving you a measurable feature or measurable stat that you can actually check. Oh, before it was this, now it was 20% more. Before it was something, now it's 25% increase. Before it was this, now it's going to be that. Okay, so if you can do something like this, then that would be an optimal way to do it. And now I know that it's not going to work for everything because if you're helping people with some mental health or something, then you cannot just tell them, oh, your mental health is going to increase in 30% less anxiety during the day or whatever it's going to be. But you can still think of some ideas. You can see how Tony Robbins is started to use statistic due to Stanford University, who was checking out, like doing all sort of surveys for him and checking out how people were like feeling and what they're saying and da-da-da. And based on these surveys, he's now able to give you all these percentage, you know, like, oh, my UPW is doing this and this many percent and that many percent of people is da-da-da-da. Right? So you can see how he's utilizing the stats, okay? If there is any way that you can incorporate the stats on your page, you do that, okay? Whether those are your own statistics or maybe some general statistics from, like, you know, from other sources, right? People who are just utilizing meditation for something, right? And you're doing a form of meditation, then you can use stats from somebody else, right? Same for whatever business support that you're giving, right, to people. And you can say, oh, if people who are doing business development are this and this better than people who are not, right? So you can always Google those stats and find some backing information where this statistic comes from, so it's not just sucked out of your finger. Okay, so this is the section for the logical buyers. Okay, and I'm going to show you really quickly how we can do that section, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm adding another section after this, right? I'm going to go to my sections, right? I'm dragging my additional section on the bottom. And now for this section, I will first need 1 row, but then I will need 3 rows. Okay, so that's going to be my basic setup over here, right? And then I can copy my my copy, right? So headline, I'm dragging my headline, highlighting, putting the headline that I created, right? And then same thing for here. So in this case, I have a little image and a text, right? So again, I'm going to show you how you can do it a little bit faster. I can do only 1 box and then multiply that box 3 times. Okay, so here's how it's going to look like. I'm going to putting an image over here. Then I'm going to put a text over here. Okay, oh, the text went a little bit too low. Here, I want to have it here, right? And okay, let's see if I can just use an image over here, just so we have something. Maybe this one. Okay, that's going to be my image. All right. Then I'm going to take my text. Now you can see that the text have bolded part. So if you just want to bold the part of your text, you highlight that part and you bold it over here, right? So this is pretty much how my section over here will look like. And now what I wanted to do is copy this, right? So I copy and I move. I copy, I'm clicking these 2 little discs, so 2 little pages, right? And then I'm clicking and dragging to the other space, right? Copy, drag, copy, drag. Okay, so I have all 3. Okay, now I just need to change this to the image that I want to have, and I need to change this text, right? So again, I'm going to highlight this text and put in my text, right? Wherever I keep it. I just copy it from here, for example. Okay. Boom, 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 and this is done. Okay, so this would be my section. How I build this section. Always save changes once you finished your work. Okay. Then let's go to our list. So we did benefits and stats. Then it's just time for a story. So after this is also a part for the logical buyers, other than the fact that they want to see what is in it for them, what are the benefits, right? They also want to know why would they buy it from you or take it from you? Who are you to say that this is the good thing, right? That this is the good stuff, right? So this is a little bit a chance for you to share a little story or build your rapport, right? Give people a reason to believe that you are the person who knows what you're talking about. So this part over here is the part when we're building that story, okay? And you can see that it's actually utilizing a very similar section. So I'm going to have a headline, and then I have 2 rows over here, text and picture, right? Another picture and another text. Okay, so I can create this really quickly in my creator over here. I take a new section, right? I put the new section over here and I recreate the whole thing, what I needed over there. So first it was 1 row, then it was 2 rows because I had text and a picture, right? And another 2 rows the opposite way. That was my whole section for the story, right? So now I'm going to take the elements that I need. Headline, I drag headline. Text, I drag text. Picture, drag picture. Right, and then the other one with opposite picture was, I can copy paste over here. Picture was here, and the other text was here. Okay, so that's the skeleton of my story section. And now it will be the time for me to just grab the text, right? Grab the copy, grab my picture, and put it over there, right? Put it here. Okay. So just for the sake of time, I'm not going to be doing this one by one, but you get the point, right? You get the gist how that will work. So now when I have my story done, what's the next part is I repeat the call to action. You can see that the button, I put another button over here, right? And another form. So it's just literally the same thing that I had above the logic part, but this is for people who needed their logical reason why they should take it from me, and now they're ready to do it. So I repeat that call to action again. Okay, so I can literally just take this section, right? Since I already created this whole thing, and copy and drag it, right? You go lower with this. I put this one over there, right? And I can do the same thing. Sorry. I can do the same thing with the other one. Okay. Copy. I have a little bit extra elements on my screen because of Zoom, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me to drag. But you can see the point, right? So I have this, I have that, and I can have my button. I can also make this makes extra margin over here on the left, on the right side, so it doesn't take the whole page, right? Can be smaller like this, or even smaller than that, right? So I can adjust this. Okay, so I have the second call to action for logical action takers. And then the next part of my page is giving social proof and creating urgency. Okay, so there is a third kind of people who are only taking action if they feel they have a fear of missing out, right? So that third part can be added yet additionally to what you already have. You could potentially finish your page only after this button if you want to, right? But if you want to grab all the audiences out there, you want to make sure that your lead magnet page is optimized for all kind of audiences, you can add social proof if you have, right? So these are some people who would say something about you, about your program, or about this lead magnet, okay? In this case, it's done in the form of a carousel, you see? So people will be able to just click left and right over here, or swipe on the phone left and right to see some stories. And how that is done on System.io, it's also pretty simple. You have the carousel button over here, right? Couldn't be more straightforward. So I would add additional section over here, right? Let me get my section. Oh, I get my section. Wait a second. Section is here, and then I'm adding my carousel. Okay, now if I have my carousel, I actually have to click on this to add some stuff to the carousel. Okay, so let's say I want to add. Let's see. Here. I want to add an image. Okay. Okay, something like this, right? So that's going to be my first my first image on the carousel. Okay, then if I go to the carousel, the header, sorry. Let me see. Why am I not seeing my second part of carousel? Second. I think this feature changed a little bit because they used to have a chance for me to edit in bulk. But okay, so in that case, to be honest, without overcomplicating stuff, I will. If you're going to be interested in the carousel in particular, let me just share just a separate video because I don't want to make this too long. But you will be able to just set up on the left side just to tell you just what is going to be on the first screen and the second screen and the third screen. They just change it somewhere. I don't want to waste time right now to search for it. So that will look like this, right? And you're going to click on this and you set up everything on the first one, and then you're going to click on the next one and set everything on the next one. Okay, that's only one way to setting up your social proof, because you can literally just put one story or do it the proper one by one story from top to bottom, so they don't have to swipe left and right. Okay, that doesn't make a huge difference. It just depends on what are your preferences. Okay, so here you're just swiping left and right, but it could be simply one story, second story, and third story, right? Like that. So after the social proof, once I have this this part done, I just repeat my call to action one more time. And in this particular section, what you can do is you can put a little bit of urgency. So you can say, for instance, that this lead magnet is only available for free until this and this date, right? Or this lead magnet, you only can share it with this and this amount of people. The moment you will reach that amount, it's not going to be available. So whichever part works for you, and it's kind of true at the same time. So you don't want to put a fake urgency over here, like fake scarcity, because people will just call you out on this. Put it in there, right? It doesn't have to be anything like creative. You can literally say, grab it until it's still available, right? Just any type of urgency. And another button. So I'm rushing through this part over here because it's kind of like repetitive, as you can see. But one part that is very important is the footer. Okay, so this has to be, even if you're going to create only the basic form of the page, which is just this, just the front screen like that, and the footer. Okay, the footer needs to be there for a couple reasons. First of all, in the footer, you will have privacy policy and terms and conditions. And you need to have these two things if you don't want Facebook to start deleting your links. Okay, Facebook are very, very picky choosy right now. We have so many content created by AI and some spammers. Then Facebook is literally deleting a lot of stuff, and people were coming back to me asking me what's happening. And we very soon discovered that it's just because they had no privacy policy, no terms and conditions, so they were not following the laws. Literally, in different countries is a little bit different thing, but US in specific has a lot of stuff, right, that are required, and so you need to have this. These privacy policies and terms and conditions, You can copy this from some other companies, just model it. You don't have to create your own and do it from scratch. So if you go to our page over here, you can see that these are hyperlinks over here, right? Usually, no human beings are reading these things, but robots and things that are checking on Facebook if everything is right, they are clicking on these things and they're checking if it's correct or not. So if I click on that, you can see that it took me to the standalone page, and this is a standard version of the privacy policy. So you can see that there are some formulas that you have to have, and you can literally copy paste this whole thing. Just make sure that you have your own information of your company and not any company, right? So that would be one page that you're putting over there, and the other one is terms and conditions. Okay, if I click on terms and conditions, you're going to see that part. We also have to have some forms and some information for people, right? You can see that this is my company information, right? So all this has to be personalized, but the text itself, all these boxes are just like very generic. You don't have to be very creative over here. You just have to have it. Okay, so just copy paste it and stick it to your page. Now, how you're going to do this is very simple, because I'm going to add additional section right over here on the bottom. You can also have disclaimers in those sections, right? Like we have over here, a little extra disclaimer for Facebook, so they don't say anything. Okay, that makes sense to have a disclaimer like that as well. So now that I have this, what I can do is I put all these elements here. So let's say I'm going to have some text, right? I'm going to have an image for my logo, and then I'm going to have another text over here after that for my disclaimer. And then I'm going to have 3 columns for the bottom. So this could be a terms and conditions, right, in the middle. And this could be my privacy policy, right? Okay, so now how do I do this? Like I said, like I showed you, those are actually hyperlinks, right? So I just put a text in. I will have to create this page separately, right? So let me just save it for a second. I saved my changes, and I will show you where those pages will be. So if I go out to my pages generator for my funnel view, right, that we had at the beginning. Right now you have only 2 pages on the left side, but on the bottom you have this plus button, add step. So you can add the step over here, and I can choose a type of the page that I need. So for this moment, what I need is the info page. Okay, so I scroll all the way to the bottom, and I put an info page, and I'm going to call it terms and conditions. Okay, save that page, and it shows up over here as another step of the funnel. It won't be connected to this funnel through any buttons or anything, but it will be connected through this hyperlink that I showed you. Now, the cool thing about System.io is that they actually already give you these templates, and you can utilize it just by optimizing it for your brand, right? So I choose that template, I go inside here, right? Now I'm not going to have like all these blogs or stuff like that, so whichever one I don't need, I can delete, right? And the rest of it I could potentially just optimize this text over here, check if I have all the latest information that Facebook requires, right? And that's going to be my terms and conditions. So now what I need to do is, save the pages, save the changes. Once I have I typed in all the information on my page over there, I take this link, right? This is my link to my terms and condition. I'll go back to my landing page. I open my, I will open my page creator, scroll down to the bottom of my terms and conditions. And now I'm going to highlight this terms and conditions. I'm going to click on the link and I will drop here my my page, right? I click on this little floppy disk, there you go, and it's done, right? So at this point, let me just save the changes. If I go and see my little page over here, I think I'm gonna have to. I will have to change the color because it's white right now, so you can see it. But you can see that it takes me to the page, right? You just can't see the text because it's turned white right now. So if I have to do this again. Control, maybe I will need to change this text to black. Okay, so there you go. I will have to do the same thing with the privacy policy. So once I have these two elements here on my page, that will give me a complete landing page for my lead magnet. Okay, so with that being said, guys, the easiest version to do is you're just going for this first 5, right? Even if you don't have a logo, just forget about the logo, then just do the 4 over here. Okay, and you have to have a footer, right? You have to have the privacy policies and terms to make it work on social media. Okay, then later you can actually add all these other things over here in between to make it more efficient. Okay.
So it's the first 4 and the last 2.
First 4 and the last 2, exactly. I mean the footer over here is included because in the footer you're just literally having this information, right? Name of your company, all rights reserved, right? You can have a disclaimer as well over here, you might want to add the contact information. Some social media actually require the contact information on the landing page as well. Okay, so that's the generic footer. This is what you should have in the footer, right? And that's the one part of the page you need, and this is the second part of the page you need. Okay, everything else in between over here you can add later to make it work a little bit better. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we rambled through the whole landing page. There was a few information over here that we need to do. Let me see. Hannah was asking something left you now. Good things, but it looks something like ClickFunnels. Yeah, it looks very similar to ClickFunnels. Hannah was comparing the system to ClickFunnels. It's very similar to ClickFunnels. I would say maybe System.io is a little bit simpler than ClickFunnels. It doesn't have that many functions as ClickFunnels at the same time. But again, for us and for our needs at the moment, I don't really think that we need all these things that ClickFunnels is giving. And we definitely don't need to pay for all these things, right? So I would still be strongly suggesting to start with the software that is for free. And only once it's bringing you business, maybe updating or changing the software to something better, something bigger, or that gives you additional information, okay? Or additional functions. For now, we finished the landing page. The next time we meet, I'm going to show you how to create a thank you page. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about integration. So I will show you how to integrate this button with your lead magnet, because you're going to put it somewhere on a Google Drive or somewhere where you keep it, right? So I'm going to show you how to make sure that people automatically have the access to it. And then finally, we're going to talk about the email sequence. So once somebody opts into your lead magnet, you want to have a list of people who took it, and then you want to do something with that list, right? That's the most important part. Not delivering the thing. The most important part is to follow up with these people and do something with this contact, do something with this lead to close the transaction and start the relationship. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, guys, so with that being said, we officially finished for today. Himli, if you have any additional questions in regard to what we were covering, let me know.
No, yeah.